Hello. I'm so happy to see that you've come in and want to take the test with us. How are you doing today? I'm glad to hear it. Yeah, I'm doing pretty well as well. Thank you for asking. So, do you know what we're going to do today? You put on your form that you just wanted to kind of learn more about who you were and perhaps learn about how you best interact with others. Okay, perfect. Well, this will be great for you. Let me just explain a little bit about what this is. This is the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator, the MBTI, and this is a personality test that basically offers 4 letters with 2 options for each letter. So there are 16 types, and it's a pretty holistic measurement of who you are in social interactions, what you think about, how you perceive the world, and how you go about each day and go about your larger decisions. Does that sound interesting? I am glad to hear it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a form, and there are 4 questions on this form. Some questions have more than one part, okay? And you are going to try to answer this, all the questions on this form in 30 seconds because I don't want you overthinking anything. I want to have your first impressions, okay? All right, here is your form, and let me grab, here's your pencil. All right, ready? Steady? All right, let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alrighty, great work. Let's see that form. Okay. All right, so there are 4 letters in the MBTI for each type. You can either have E or I as the first letter, N or S as the second, T or F as the third, and J or P as the fourth. So it goes extroverted or introverted, intuitive or sensing, thinking or feeling, and judging or perceiving. So let's get into it. So the first question I asked is, on a random Friday night, would you rather be alone at home doing whatever hobby you enjoy, or out with friends or at a party? And you said you'd rather be home alone. So I'm guessing this means that you're introverted. Do you resonate with that statement? Yeah, it's always important for people to have time alone to recharge after social time, regardless of whether they're an introvert or extrovert, because people can be exhausting and you need to be able to rest. But people who are introverted really gain actual energy from being alone. It refreshes them, rejuvenates them. I've heard extroverts say that they cannot just be alone reading a book. They will fall asleep because they have no energy when they do that. So looks like you may be an I for your first letter, okay? All right, the second question on our list is, do you tend to have deep conversations with friends and those who are close to you? Or are you more comfortable shooting the shit, per se? Yeah, this one was a little bit harder for you. Yeah, it's a little bit ambiguous, but you decided the first one. Yeah, could you tell me why you decided that, you'd rather have deeper conversations with folks? Personal experience is just kind of how it goes. Is that because of the other people you surround yourself with? A little bit. More because that's just what you like to do? Yeah, things are interesting. Things are interesting to talk about. Okay, so that suggests you may be intuitive, okay? So intuitive individuals tend to be people who notice patterns. They're kind of future thinking. They like to have those deep conversations, imaginative, sometimes up in the clouds a little bit. And sensing folks are a little bit more, if you want to generalize it, they're a bit more down to earth, observant, past and present thinking, pragmatic. Yeah. So you may be an N type. Okay, the next question is, would your friends call you a feeler or a thinker? This is fairly simple and corresponds to the letters. Yeah, so I noticed that this is left blank. Is there a reason? Yeah, you're just gonna decide. That is totally fine, and it actually says a lot about who you are. So you're very much on the borderline there. Yeah, I think a lot of people are. It can be kind of hard to distinguish the two. But do you express your emotions to people? Okay, so when you're feeling passionate about something, people know it. Like when you're feeling angry about an issue. Cool, okay. All right, I'll keep that in mind. And then this last question here is a two-parter. So the first part is, do you get irritated, annoyed, or angry when people do not have a plan or do not listen to your plan? And you said yes. Yes. I'm trying to like read your eyes here. Yeah. And the second part of the question is, are you comfortable with a more flexible lifestyle devoid of routine? And you said no. So these corroborate each other. They would indicate that you may be a J type. Judging, it does not mean you're judgy. It's just the term that is used to describe people who are planners. Yeah, would you consider yourself to be a planner? Yeah, I thought so. You seem very resolute on that one. Yeah, okay, so you are definitely a planner. You are certainly an introvert. You seem to be intuitive. And then the thinking and feeling one is just a little bit more on the edge. Oh yeah, okay. What about the N versus S do you want to discuss? You feel like you're very pragmatic. Okay. Yeah, no, totally. Let me cook up another question to ask you to kind of get down to the bottom of this. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna ask you, if you were, let's say you're in a room and some folks are playing a game that's sort of like pool, kind of like billiards, okay? They're playing it off to the side and you don't really have much going on, so you're just kind of sitting there. This game is not known to you, it's kind of new. After the game has run its course and the duo has left, and you're still sitting there, if I asked you, would you be able to tell me the rules of the game and the objective of the game? Immediate answer, tell me yes or no. No. Why no? You're just thinking about stuff, kind of lost in thoughts. Yeah. Okay, I think I'd place you on the N type. It doesn't mean that you're not pragmatic. You're probably pretty close to the middle on this one, kind of like how you probably are with F and T. Okay, yeah, does that sound good? We can always, I mean, what I'm saying does not have to be like rule or law or anything. You can absolutely disagree with me. You can read up on your own. Okay, T and F. Let's see. Have you had romantic relationships in your past? Couple? Yeah. Would you say that in your relationships you are the person who advocates for expression of emotion, expresses your emotion more, and perhaps is the one that's less brutally honest and more concerned with the other person's feelings? Okay, so you've dated people who are feelers. So you can't really tell if it was you or them, but you were part of that. Were you the exact opposite of that, or were you fitting that mold? Okay, so you were a feeler along with these people. How about familial relationships? Do you have any siblings? Okay, and what is he like? Is he more brutally honest, a little bit less considerate of your emotions, but not in a deliberate way, but just in a like, this is how I look at life way? Yeah, you think so? And how do you compare to him? You guys are like polar opposites. Okay, I think I'm gonna put you on the F side. But before I fully tell you your full type, I just want to kind of make sure you are this type, because when we look at it from a zoomed out view, sometimes things can change. So I'm going to ask you if you consider yourself an advocate for people in need or people with less than you. And why is that? Yeah. Is it this feeling that you just cannot stand not doing something? Mm-hmm. Do you make plans for yourself to get those things done, and do you follow through with them? Yeah. Okay, cool. Is it more the feeling of anger or perhaps fear that you yourself could be in danger if others are in danger? Anger. Okay. Yeah, kind of like a blood boiling under the surface type thing. Okay. Yeah, no, totally. That makes sense. How about, do you sometimes feel out of place with people in social interactions around you? Do you feel like you are perhaps on a different plane than them in a sense where they enjoy this thing and you don't, and you don't even see the appeal of it? Do you kind of know what I'm saying? It's kind of a specific feeling. Yeah? Yeah, could you tell me a little bit more about that? What does that mean for you? Okay, so that sounds like it's mostly the introversion, extroversion bit. You'd rather be alone, and a lot of people are not like that. Okay, that makes sense. And then do you feel like do you get really frustrated with people for perhaps their quote unquote inaction? You seem to have more action than usual, so even people that are perhaps advocating for other people at a more average rate or whatever that means for your group dynamics still frustrate you. Is that the case? Why are you frustrated by that? Okay, so they don't frustrate you. It's more of a societal frustration type thing. Yeah. Are you ever afraid of espousing your point of view when you're passionate about it? The tiniest bit of fear. What does that fear come from? Just like a little bit of social anxiety. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay. Yeah, I think I have you down. I think you are an INFJ. Okay, I think you're an INFJ. This is actually the rarest personality type, so applause for being the rarest personality type. That is very cool. INFJs are fiercely altruistic. They have beliefs that they absolutely stick to, and they follow through with, helping those ideals and virtues come to fruition in the external world. So things that they feel internally become externalized through their action. Does that make sense? There is a very similar type that that you can go to one of our other clinics and see about it if you'd like. But it's basically that you have all these feelings and all these things of injustices, but there's sort of a blockage to putting that out into the world. For whatever reason, INFJs do that, and sometimes they do it compulsively and lose themselves in the process and lose their own sense of care in the process, because there's just too much to fix out there and it's never all going to be fixed. Does that make sense? Yeah, so inner peace can be disturbed, but healthy INFJs know that they do what they can and they help others around them. Yeah, hello. They help others around them. They're generally extremely good parents. And because they're so concerned with others, they do know that others, when others rely on them to be kind of more stable, they make the sacrifice of not doing as much so that they can be more stable. Yeah, so that they can be more of a rock to other people, which is extremely sweet. Hello. Yes. INFJs are deep thinkers. They're able to hold very deep conversations, but that can obviously, depending on who you have as a romantic partner, you want to find somebody who wants that as well. You'll want to find somebody who is probably also intuitive, because you want to have those conversations with them, and you don't want them to get annoyed with that. A lot of times we recommend that N types go together and S types go together because it's kind of how you see the world. And if you see the world in the same way, it's kind of easier to just have conversations and have interactions with each other and not get annoyed with each other. You can obviously have a relationship with absolutely anybody. It can be so healthy, regardless of personality type, of course, but this is just a trend that can be seen. Yeah. Hello, kitty cat. Do you have any questions for me about the INFJ type? Yeah. The reason I asked about your family and you said your brother was the one that was kind of opposite to you is because, and also the social group dynamics thing that I asked. Because INFJs are the rarest type, they do tend to feel a little out of place, and that is not a bad thing at all. It kind of just reinforces their idea that this path that they're going down is the one for them, because it is distinct. But not every INFJ is super confident in, oh, I know what I want to do, I know what path I want to take, I know what I want to solve. A lot of times they just have a lot of feelings about the world and don't really know what to channel them to. So they might take it out in like little manic tasks that they complete, or lots of like very like concrete decisions that they stand by, even if they might seem a little bit odd to other people. Yeah. Again, what I'm saying is not applicable to every single INFJ. This is just kind of based on the letters and on like a holistic measurement of the type. And there is no, when I do discuss these personality types, I'm discussing what it would be like if you were 100% I, 100% N, 100% F, and 100% J. Okay, so you are like 50-50 N and S, and you're like 50-50 F and T, but you're just little bit more on the side of N and F. So if you do not resonate with everything I'm saying, please do not worry. And again, my word is not law on this topic. Do your own reading, do your own research. I will be putting a link on the form I'll send home with you, where you can read about this type and see if it actually does resonate with you. Absolutely, of course. I love doing this. I hope that you come back, maybe refer a friend or family member. You can refer your brother, because if he's like exactly opposite you, I think I know what type he is. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for coming in today. Yeah, I hope you have an absolutely lovely evening. All right. Bye.